I think the television sitcoms always had the bloke going down the pub. I mean, even over here, things like Till Death Us Do Part, he was always storming off, ranting away, and Dandy Nichols' long-suffering wife hardly said anything. And then there were comedies where men were kind of either hapless and the woman was running the home and holding it all together.
Or they were nags. They were nags,
nagging. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the actual word wife is a very demeaning word, because housewife, I mean, that's a word I hate more than any other word in the English language. You don't marry a house. You marry a person. But housewife seems to imply, you know, you've got to look after that place and it's your job and your responsibility. But I think we have come a long way since the 70s and 80s. But certainly when Linda and I started out in telly, that was the image, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And I don't like the term housewife, but I do like the term wife. I love being a wife. I love being a mum, I love being a nan.
So wife doesn't to you kind of go, all ball and chain,
no.
Stuck in the house? No, it doesn't to me. I agree, I don't like housewife particularly. Yeah. But wife, it doesn't... But to me, it's just a union. I mean, I didn't feel like, oh, suddenly I was responsible for AIM, and we're both very independent people within our marriage. You know?
But I think that's a modern take on things. I think if you go back 20 years, it was very different, and women were expected to, you know, do the shopping, run the house, do most of the housework. And certainly
a lot of them still do, don't they?
A lot of them still do.
There are people that enjoy that as well. There are people that enjoy being a housewife.
I love looking
and running
after
the
my
home
family. I love washing for them, I love cooking for them, I like shopping for them. So it's just...
But actually, when you think of birds, you were saying women being represented on television. When you think of Birds of a Feather, that was 3 women without men, you know, looking after themselves, running their home, their lives.
I mean,
that was quite groundbreaking, wasn't it?
Yeah, quite a lot of subjects, which comedies especially. I mean, we used to call Birds a dramedy because it's like we didn't play everything for laughs. There was always a lot of drama in it. Like we had an episode about testicular cancer, first time ever touched like on a sitcom. And we also had one about my character Tracy got cancer, because 1 in 3 women now are likely to develop cancer. We also insisted on there being HRT patches and HRT gel all around the house.
And you insisted on that?
We insisted on that. We know exactly. We also nearly got taken off air because Pauline found a pair of knickers in her husband's glove compartment of a car and called him the B word. And so there was loads and loads of complaints about it. Although at the same time, Grandad was always swearing and using the B word.
So people were offended it was a woman
People were offended
swearing.
that it was a woman swearing, yeah. So
it's quite incredible what you did, though, Linda, because you used to make them put things in like you plucking your chin hair.
Which is what I do every morning. I go to my magnifying times 10 mirror. We want a scene where I'm just plucking my chin, everything's going and no one notices, no one mentions it, just like they don't at home now. If my tweezers go missing, there's murders in the house. So there's just a scene where I'm sitting at the breakfast table, everyone's having their breakfast and I'm just plucking my chin. And then got it.
Yeah. But actually, that wouldn't have been written in by a man unless you'd have insisted on that.
Unless we insisted on it.
Because that was the thing, Janet. I mean, when you worked in television, you know, you were predominantly in a man's world in terms of the executives and who was planning what was going on.
And the men were writing lots of the dramas and sitcoms, and, you know, you needed input from people like Linda to make sure that they more correctly mirrored what was going on in the real world. And then along came a show like Absolutely Fabulous, which we actually looked like in that wedding.
I said it was
Fab, written by women, starring women, and the only couple of blokes in it are totally useless, almost redundant, the ex-husband and the decorator. They're kind of redundant to the action. But it is really interesting that the way that television shows women has changed so much, because Widows, for example, has just been released in the cinema. It's an amazing film. I saw it last night. I thought it was wonderful.
Well, I'm glad you heard that, because when they sent us all an email saying what show, you know, if you could choose the show, and mine was Widows, because to me, that was what, in the 1980-something?
Yeah, Linda LaPlante wrote it.
Linda LaPlante wrote it, so it was written by a woman. Anne Mitchell, fantastic, kind of matriarch. And it was this 5 women that you had never seen a cast of just women, and this was women doing, you know, their husbands were all gone to jail for a heist that had gone wrong, and they all decided to pull this off. So it was watching women being clever, watching women being independent, watching women together, friendship.
And all the
I loved
characters were
it.
really different. They didn't all get on. It wasn't all bonding. They were really different characters.
It wasn't all girly and things. Is this interesting for you, Stacey? Because it's a different world now.
It is
for
funny
women.
because I was saying in the meeting that I'm so grateful that for people like you who did stick up for themselves and say, actually, we want A, B and C, because I didn't grow up feeling like women couldn't do anything that a man could do. You know, I felt that I was equal and I had the opportunities and I could go out and be whatever I wanted to be, thanks to people like you who said, actually, I won't have it.